Hello, viewers. Thank you for all your lovely, wonderful comments. It's really lovely to receive them. Okay, so I wanted to have a look. We've got some big news around Trump's taxes. The appeals court has said that they have to be handed over, that his accounting firm, Mazars, has to hand them over. Of course, we now know Trump may very well take it to the Supreme Court. But the question is, will the Supreme Court hear that? There's been court after court after court rule that he must hand them over. So let's ask the question. I did see it being appealed to the Supreme Court, but the question for me now is, will the Supreme Court hear the case? And then we'll go to the obstruction of justice, which is occurring right now with multiple Trump White House personnel and others, public servants, not turning up, not answering those subpoenas and not turning up to testify in this impeachment inquiry. Adam Schiff has come out and said this will all be added to the articles of impeachment that would be brought forward, this obstruction of justice. So let's start with Trump's tax returns. He's fighting awful hard to hide them, isn't he? Trump's tax returns. We've also found out that he look what we've got, the Nine of Pentacles must be the card for his tax returns. We've got news coming out this morning that he was trying to build one of his golf resorts or a hotel resort in the Ukraine prior to standing for the president. My goodness me. And that he was coming forward with a potential quid pro quo as early as 2017. All right, let's start with his tax returns before we go to the impeachment. Trump's tax returns. Is this likely? Is the Supreme Court going to hear this? Is the Supreme Court going to hear this case? Will the Supreme Court hear the case on whether or not Trump should release his tax returns? Will the Supreme Court hear this case on Trump's tax returns? Will the Supreme Court hear this case on Trump's tax returns? I'm almost cautious about letting you know what I heard. I'm feeling they may not hear it, but anyway, let's see what the cards, because I'm not quite sure. We've got review and investigation, and this is thinking. The Supreme Court will think quite long and hard about whether to take this on, because they understand they're setting a precedence, and this would be not just for Trump, but for those presidents that come forward after him. There's also a question around people in public office generally having to share their tax returns. So they're mindful that it might be wise to leave it to the appeal courts to let those decisions stand rather than the Supreme Court getting involved in this, particularly after Trump has put two nominees on the court in the last 3 years. Let's see what the challenge is. Yeah, there's this theft and betrayal, so they would be wading in. This is the impeachment inquiry. Yeah, they'd be wading into a fairly heavy situation here. We've got the Hermit, which is review, but it's being challenged by theft and betrayal. So there's almost a no-win for the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court says no, his tax returns need to stay hidden, they'd be accused of this because of Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, particularly Kavanaugh, given the background to his confirmation. It's a difficult thing for them. We've also got the abuse of power here as well. So the courts up until now have ruled very, very quickly and very decisively because what the Trump administration, what Trump and his government administration are doing are actually threatening the rule of law. And so this will weigh heavily on them as well. Yeah, the Knight of Cups in the past, the deals that could have been made. This is the highest court in the land. What if they rule no? And what if it comes out later that their ruling could have prevented, this could have stopped this abuse of power? Yeah, look, the sword of justice is here in the sky. If they do get involved, I think it will come down. It will come down as a yes. He must hand them over. But it could be the Supreme Court releases a fairly lengthy uh, decision about why they may not take this up and why the appeal court ruling should stand. I think those taxes are going one way or another are going to be handed over because we've got courts. The law has to consider the law, but how does the law actually get made? It gets made, particularly congressional law or parliamentary law, as we say in Australia, is made on the back of the will of the people. That's on one level. On another level, though, the Queen of Swords is bringing forward this movement that can't be stopped. So I have the Sword of Justice and I have the Queen of Wands here. Certainly, this decision is where the crossroads rests. It's if you go one way, you'll go down a path of a totally different outcome. If you go another, it will completely and utterly change the future. So it's a really significant decision. Why has he fought so hard? I'll just bring the laptop down. He's fought so hard because what's in those tax returns is quite damning. That is the bottom line, okay? It is the proof that prosecutors will need to establish the connection between Trump and particularly Russia, but other foreign countries as well. We've got the rebalancing. So I'm going straight to December. That we will see something in December that will be a game changer. We will possibly see the release of Trump's tax returns in that late November, December, in that December time frame. We've got the Ace of Cups. This is in the hopes and the fears. So the Supreme Court again there's a lot of emotion resting upon this, and we've got this sitting right next to the inspiration and the drive of this Queen of Swords, connecting to the Ace of Swords. We've got the American voter. This is why I'm thinking that the answer will be yes, he has to hand over those tax returns. We've got this juggling and manipulation from coast to coast. As I understand it, Donald Trump is fighting this to try and hide these tax returns. Here's our ace. We've got our two aces. I do believe that the Supreme Court may not actually, because I'm not getting a clear run to the Supreme Court hearing it, they might just release this extended reason as to why the appeal court, why they won't hear it and why the appeal court decision will hold. I do feel that either way, we're going to see Trump's taxes around December. It will be the thing that will change completely and utterly change the way that we view Donald Trump. It will reveal a lot about what we already know. It will confirm it. Right now, we've got the Three of Pentacles. This is teamwork. This represents Trump's team, the fight, but it also represents dark money as well. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles coming forward, trying to move towards some kind of security. We'll read on the government shutdown, but I see the stability of the country reflected in that Queen of Pentacles. And we've got this bipartisanship, and we've got this devil, this greed, this avarice. This is why he's trying to hide his tax returns. And of course, we've got our Queen of Cups, this revelation and the new starts, which will follow the Tower moment. So I do feel he'll take it. He'll try and take it to the Supreme Court. But whether the Supreme, I'm not getting a clear hit at this point in time on whether the Supreme Court will hear it. If it's not jumping out to me, it's showing me that they may in some way not hear it and just I don't know how these processes work, but uphold the appeal court's decision. He's certainly trying with that. I'm just drawn to that Two of Cups. He's trying to really manipulate this situation. Now, I think it was the month ahead, I suggested that I got an intuitive hit around Trump considering shutting down the government there. The hanged man came up. And look, these are desperate measures, threatening bribes. We see him intimidating, witness intimidation daily. This is just, again, another threat to intimidate the Congress into stopping the impeachment. Again, the move of a very desperate person. Let's have a look at if he will actually. I think it's November the 21st. There are appropriations needing to be pushed through. So let's have a look at whether he's going to shut down the government. I hope for your sakes he won't. There were billion-dollar deficits or damage to the economy as a result of the last shutdown. I do believe that Queen of Pentacles is coming up more and more for the realization dawning that Trump is not good for the stability of the country. And it's kind of like we would sit there and do a Homer Simpson and go, duh, like, of course he's not. So it's amazing that it's held together for so long, but you've got a huge economy like a juggernaut. A juggernaut is not easily or quickly stopped, but when it's stopped very dramatically. So let's have a look at... So what I'm saying is that there's a growing awareness amongst everybody that this man is not worth it. Okay, so let's have a look at... whether or not he will shut down the government by refusing to sign those appropriations. Will Trump shut down the government by refusing to sign those appropriation bills? Will Trump shut down the government? Again, will he shut down the government? Will Trump shut down the government? Again, will Trump shut down the government? We've got the King of Pentacles flexing his money, and it all comes back to his money. He sees the impeachment as a direct threat against him. He is trying to eliminate a business rival because he sees the Democrats and the House investigation, impeachment inquiry and impeachment as a direct threat to him and his let's just call it rumoured fortune. He's approaching this like a businessman trying to get rid of a business rival. And how he's doing that tells us a lot about Trump in the past and what he's done in the past and what he's gotten away with. And this is threats and intimidation. Okay, so we have Russia. Okay, always Russia. Is he going to shut down the government? He's trying to halt a process that is unraveling before his very eyes. The Republicans and Trump can't mount defences that takes away this momentum. I think even if Barr came forward with his criminal investigation, we all know that Russia hacked the US 2016 elections. Over in the UK, Boris Johnson's government is holding back a report on the extent of Russian interference into their Brexit process until after the election. All roads lead to Russia. It's very hard to stop the truth coming out. People should be mindful of that eventually we learn the truth. So Trump is also challenged by the weight of this momentum, the weight of evidence against him. Three of Pentacles. This again is dark money, but it's also joining together with others to try and get something accomplished. Now, it could be what we see with this card is Republicans and Democrats. If he attempts to shut down that government again, you might get that 2/3 of a majority to overrule his decision in the Senate. You may get that. Let's have a look. We've got the Democrats winning the House. This is where it all comes back to. He sees this impeachment inquiry as a threat as the same as what he would perceive in the business world, take down the enemy type of thing. We've got this loss, heartbreak, betrayal as a potential future, and I feel that he may try and shut the government down for a short time. He's capable of doing that, but I also see this is only a potential future. Also see perhaps the Republicans really drawing a line in the sand and saying, no, we can't let this happen again, because we're getting close to the election. This is madness. Everybody knows it's madness. This would impact and hurt Republican families just like it will hurt Democrats' families. It will hurt the public servants. It will erode whatever goodwill is left there for Trump, and the Republicans know it. We've certainly now got this joining together. This card sometimes comes up when we see the Republicans running cover for Trump. And it's because things are coming forward so quickly in this impeachment inquiry. It's overwhelming. They don't feel that they can stop it. And this would be why he would do something as drastic as this, because they just can't seem to make any headway. It would be a show of strength for Trump in the middle of an impeachment inquiry to come forward and say, I'm the boss. I'm the boss. What I say goes. And this card came forward when he shut down the government before. But this is only in the hopes and fears. It's not an actuality. But unfortunately, we have the devil, and so I think he could absolutely try it. The Chariot again. He is unbalanced enough to do it, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles. This will shake domestic security. It will have an impact on the economy. It will wound. It will damage. Okay, so at the end of the day, you might see Republicans coming together and joining with the Democrats to somehow try and avoid this. But I do feel with these cards here that he's likely to do something like this, as drastic, as stupid, as unbalanced to do it. He's likely to do it. What's happening now, though, we've got the Star of Hope. Now, we're a long way away from the 21st of November or late November when this could occur. We've got a lot to get through before then, which could explain why there appears to be people working together here to try and stop this from happening. We've got a necessary moving on, but we've also got the divisions, the partisanship, Democrats, Republicans fighting Democrats to try and stop these secrets that are coming forward. And it's trying to derail the work of the impeachment inquiry in the House. So I wouldn't put it past Donald Trump to shut down the government at all. It's something that he would do. With that devil card there, it is the great disruptor. That's in the outcome position. That's in the potential future. So based on those cards alone, I see that he possibly will. But I also see the Three of Pentacles rather positively as the foundation of the reading. If he does shut down the government, it could push Republicans to actually abandon this president, basically. Okay, so I'm just going to, I bought some gypsy cards on the weekend. They're a product of Hungary. And I just want to, I can't seem to get an answer on what, what William Barr is up to. He has always been very slippery for me. And I've never really been able to get a handle into him. I've had viewers come forward and say to me, the reason you can't is because he is very, very heavily energetically veiled, and so it makes it difficult to read his motives. I've always found it difficult. So I'm going to switch to the Gypsy cards. They're apparently a very old pack. They're not in heavy circulation. I picked them up from a stall that, a collector's stall. So I normally wouldn't have bought them, but I saw them there and I just thought, wow, I'll get them. They're very, very small, but they do tell a story. That baby obviously is talking about newness coming in. So let's have a look at William Barr. What's he up to? Why has he been so quiet? What do we need to know about William Barr? Something's flying out. Friend or enemy? This card is the enemy. So what's he been up to? This person is lurking behind a wall. He has a gun or a knife in his hand and he's ready to ambush the person that walks down the alley. This is no friend. This is an enemy. Okay. William Barr. What's William Barr up to? What is William Barr? Tell me about William Barr, Spirit. What's he been working on? What's he doing? What's William Barr? If we can penetrate that impenetrable energy that he has around him, tell me, reveal to me what, if you see fit, what is William Barr up to? What is William Barr up to? I just got treachery. Okay, so he is the officer. I'm just going to lay the cards out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Interesting. Okay, let's start from the beginning. The officer is the judiciary. It is the person of the law. It's the policeman. It's the lawyer. It's the judge. So this is his position at the moment as Attorney General. There's messages here going back and forth. So I feel that he, again, is in contact and promoting these conspiracy theories. He's dealing with a lot of anger on behalf of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is coming to him and demanding that he do something, that he stops certain things. He's also angry. He's angry at Donald Trump because there are, particularly with the Mueller report and the courts actually saying that he must hand things over. He's pushing back. He's getting to the end of his tether with Trump as well. So there's a couple of things going on. Trump is angry with him that he doesn't appear to be stopping anything, and Barr is angry with Trump at the overwhelming evidence that he can't intervene in. He can't take a win. So their relationship is a bit rocky at the moment. But as I said, there's messages. So this card of messages around the officer, he could bring something forward, pulling a rabbit out of a hat in some way, counter-announce, and I'll pull some cards on that, perhaps counter-announce some finding from this criminal investigation that will hog the headlines, for example. But let's keep going. Jealousy. Okay, so jealousy. So this card is interesting. I feel that this is around, I think, Barr, at the end of the day, believes in executive authority, and he looks at what the House is doing now as threatening that executive authority. But things aren't going his way either, which is interesting. He could have an unexpected win in some way, and this is not money, this is information because it's sitting below the messenger. The message card, and it's right along the gift, so with the gift card. So if this is representing his battle with the Democrats and to preserve or promote executive authority, This, of course, could suggest that he could bring something forward, some kind of message here to try and take away from the impeachment inquiry coverage and introduce something else around this conspiracy theory that he's been chasing all over the world with. So that will be interesting. That will be interesting. I do feel also he is being rewarded with these cards here quite handsomely for his efforts. Let's have a look down at this last level here. We've got a letter coming forward. I moved to this last layer of cards as predicting perhaps William Barr's resignation, and I just am going there because we've got the death card and we've got the letter, and so I feel that this fortune card could be he may announce his resignation soon. But let's pull some cards on this here. Let's see. Tell me about the message card. Tell me about the message card. What's this message? It's got money attached to it. God knows what they've been doing to get people to cooperate. Okay, so this is division. Okay, there's a message around this buy. It will be a partisan. Whatever he brings forward will be obviously partisan, which could be why it doesn't work. Let's have a look. Tell me about this message card. This message card. Tell me about this message card. Okay, so we've got secrets, so hiding something. Okay, so he could bring forward some kind of, this could be the taxes. Okay, so he could be, now the DOJ did submit a brief in relation to Trump's taxes. Barr is going to be fighting around the taxes. Trump has come to him and says, do what you can to keep these taxes hidden. But it's kind of like going to be a losing battle. Interesting how the taxes came up in this reading. Trump's not going to be very happy for him because he's not going to be on a winner. Let's have a look at the jealousy card. I'm kind of wondering what that's about. His divide with the Democrats. Trump's almost like Trump's personal lawyer. Yeah, he's having a hard time. Things seem to be going entirely the Democrats' way, but I do feel that he will try and bring something forward, something from the past, information from the past, to try and counteract the impeachment inquiry. Tell me about the jealousy card. Okay, if you look at the emotion around jealousy, he's going to be bringing forward something from the past, information from the past, to try and counteract the impeachment inquiry. Jealousy is if you're out to win and someone else is having the win, you're going to be sitting there dreaming up ways to win the battle. But I'm more concerned because I don't feel that anything Barr does now will be taken seriously. I think the damage has already been done. I feel that there's a resignation here. Let's drill down here. Tell me about this letter. What's this letter all about? What's this letter all about? Tell me about this letter. Why is this letter here? Tell me about this letter. Why is this letter here? Okay, Two of Cups. This could be his he's reviewing. He's reviewing his relationship. Yeah, he's reviewing his relationship with Donald Trump. I feel that he doesn't need, for some reason, he's been rewarded. He doesn't really need this position anymore. He may have got the payoff, so to speak, the reward for effort that he put into his brief, which was to obstruct the Mueller report, hold back that Mueller report, land the plane, as we heard the expression, I think from Rod Rosenstein. Let's have a look at the death card, suggesting an ending, question of time. So he could be handing in his resignation Tell me about the death card. Somebody just touching my hair now, which is always a validation. I think we will hear from him soon in relation to him resigning. Tell me about the death card, please. Tell me about the death card. Tell me about the death. Oops, something has flown out. Just let me get it. Okay. Sorry about that. We've got the King of Swords. That's interesting. He could be facing investigation over this himself, which might be why he's reluctant to come forward too strongly in relation to the impeachment inquiry. The New York Bar Association called on him to recuse himself from that. Endings, death. Tell me about the death card. Is this a resignation from William Barr? The Emperor, Trump, being investigated and trying to put that delusion. Yeah, I do feel this is Nine of Wands. Yeah, double death card. This is a resignation. This is a resignation for Bill Barr. Okay. So in summary, what's he been up to is, I think he's been frantically trying to get that evidence around that conspiracy theories around 2016 and Russia. That was his secondary brief after the Mueller report. He doesn't appear to be winning. Certainly the Mueller report, the courts are almost getting in front of him now and saying that the American public can hear this. Trump is not happy with him and he's not happy with Trump. He could be trying to bring, it's almost like a last gasp of something or other, bring some information forward that will detract from the impeachment inquiry around this criminal investigation that he's been jetting around the world with, using his official title to promote conspiracy theories is basically it. But he's starting to join the dots about what sort of ground he's on, and it's shaky, very shaky. And that's why he's not coming forward in any overt way around the Ukrainian matter. He's going to be investigated for why he didn't start a criminal investigation. Whether that's now or sometime in the future, he will face an investigation. He is considering resigning. Double death cards suggesting that he's considering it quite seriously. I wouldn't be surprised if he does resign in the near future. So Trump's taxes, Trump is hounding him, banging on his door. Stop, do whatever you can, stop those taxes from being revealed. So look, I'm going to wind up the reading now. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of difference here with the gypsy cards from Hungary. I find them quite easy to use. The money card, gypsy fortune telling is quite fascinating. It's on one level very, very different from tarot cards, but on another level it can kind of cut to the chase pretty quickly. All right, that's my reading for today. Thank you. Have a good week, everyone. Bye for now.